All right, peace, sis. That was a very interesting question that you posed in relationship, are we commodities to Europe? To a great degree, what makes people commodities or what we call insular possession is the birth certificate instrument, because that is the instrument that denationalizes people. It takes the natural born person and places them into a 14th Amendment corporate citizenship status, which is a foreign status, except for the instrument is created as a certificate. A certificate is an instrument that denotes stock and it denotes bond. So automatically when a person is born in the United States of America that takes and adopts the birth certificate instrument, they are being held as collateral to an alleged debt that the United States has created when they filed bankruptcy in 1933. This was endorsed by Theodore Roosevelt. So when we're talking about commodities, the Social Security number instrument specifically is nothing more than a trust account. So what you have is people like the Social Security Administration, the International Monetary Funds, which is the IMF, who are operating as what you call trustees or fiduciaries to your estate. The Social Security instrument is created by the IMF, okay, which is a private agency anyway. You know what I mean? That's foreign and international. Except remember, the U.S. was the corporation operated by the presidency and the Congress were bankrupt, and as a result of that bankruptcy, they have no so-called gold, no silver. They have nothing to barter and exchange with in the sense of having value of currency. This is why you got the inflation of what we call the fiat, which is the dollar bill, which has no value in it. It's called the note. And when we talk about money and law, a note is a bond. And money do not embrace notes nor evidence of debt. So we have to be real clear on it. So when we're talking about our people, we're talking about a people who have been induced to think that instruments such as the birth certificate is a live recording of a live actual birth. No, this is the Europeans' attempt to induce you into denationalization, to objecting to your birthright or acquiescing to your birthright. This is how we get you to be in that second-class citizenship status. Or else, how would you get there? And then you got Negroes like Martin Luther King, Al Sharpton, and the rest of them marching for civil rights and don't know what civil means. It means privileges. We talk about tax exemption. There's no such thing as tax exemption when it comes to the natural indigenous people, because the word exemption itself means privilege itself. Okay? You have what you call a non-tax obligation, and I have books and stuff that I wrote and I put together. I'm going to post it so you can see and get an idea of what it is that I'm speaking about, etc. Except when we talk about commodities, people are being denationalized, placed into the second-class citizenship status, and they're being held as collateral, and their property is being held as collateral, hypothecated. What you want to make reference to is the James Traficant speech. This was a speech in 1933 when he came before the Congress as one of the head speakers, and he started to expose a lot of the fraud that was going on internally. And of course, they had to get him arrested and get him up out of here. But it's the James Traficant bankruptcy speech. Okay, 1993. So you want to check that out because that's on congressional records. So how we get out of it, you already out of it. That's the first thing you need to know. It is the deception, the fraud, the coercion, the manipulation that's being utilized to think or to induce your mind into thinking that you are subject to underneath a power. Once you become conscious and aware and learn how to operate politically and stop identifying yourself as a Negro, black, colored, Puerto Rican, etc., then you can take yourself out of the condition, because the condition ain't the paper, it is the condition of the mind. So once we purge the mind and the conditioning of how we've been taught to think, then we are then we will create the possibility for us to come together collectively, healthy, and be able to counter the counterintelligence that's going on against us as a people. So you have to already know that you are already liberated, except for it takes a lot of purging of the adoption of the presumptions, the conditions, the training, the miseducation, misinformation, etc. Okay? So you're already there, beloved.